Yo, it's TD Show on the hot seat, we in the zone. All things ruthless, let your passion be known. Indie films and TV, we're bringing the heat. With fresh interviews, can't accept defeat. All things ruthless, we keep it real. Discussing the films, the stories that fill. From hidden treasures to the stars on the rise. Catch the vibe, see the world through our eyes. Break down the plot, sharp like a knife. Unpacking the moments that bring stories to life. In all things ruthless, it's about you. You should follow us and see it through.
All right. What is good, everyone? It is your girl, Tika Deshawn, right here at All Things Ruthless. And we are here to discuss J.R. Ward's Blackdagger Brotherhood from Season 1. This is episode 5. Now, for those of you that saw my other video from last night that you couldn't hear anything, I do apologize, but I couldn't leave the Blackdagger fans short and I had to come back and give you guys this full recap of episode 5. Now, we're definitely going to get in episode 6. That was another thing that I thought we were on the season finale with episode 5. However, episode 6 is actually the season finale. So definitely midnight, sometime after midnight on Passion Flix, we're going to be receiving episode 6 of the Blackdagger Brotherhood. And I'm absolutely looking forward to it as everyone else I do know is. So in the beginning of the Blackdagger Brotherhood on episode 5, we see where Beth has, transitioned. She is in the afterlife of the vampire world, however you want to call it. And she is in that world where she is kind of like confused as to where she is. But in the midst of all of that fog, she sees an image of Darius, her father, and she calls out to him by saying, "Father." And before she can get close enough to him, she starts looking down at her hands and sees that there is blood on her hands. And she's able to, at that moment, feel the fangs come out of her jaws. Her teeth came out sharp. And she's thirsty. She's literally hungering for a taste of blood. And she jumps on top of Raph. She grabs him by his wrist and she grabs the blood from there. And then she jumps on top of his neck and gets the blood from there. And he's holding her and telling her, "Yes, my Leland, take all that you need. Take all that you need." So after she calms down and is kind of in a relaxed state, she finally is saying that, to Raph that she's dying. But Raph tells her, "It's going to be okay. I'm going to get you through it. I'm going to get you through it." And so after that part happens, she calms down. She whispers, "Shower." And so he asks her, "What did you say?" And she says, "Shower." So he literally takes her into the shower and begins to bathe her, literally from head to toe. And prior to him taking her to that shower, as she was transitioning and as he was holding and cuddling her, he asked her to be his shellin, meaning be his wife, marry him. And so she really, because of everything that she was going through, did not give him an answer. But once they got out of that shower and he takes her back to the bed and she's feeling a whole lot better, she says to Raph, "I will. Yes, I will marry you." And he, of course, he's so happy about the fact that she is, going to be his shellin. And so outside of the bedroom, we see where Butch as well as Marissa are connected. They're having a conversation, getting to know one another. And he tells her how he likes her hair, how she's, pretty. And she's never had anyone to tell her any of those things. So Raph walks out. And of course, Rage is there to play, as they call him, Mr. Hollywood, telling him, "Step back, Mr. Hollywood." But Rage is there. And Wrath is also there. Rage is getting ready to hand Wrath the dagger so that he can go ahead and stab Butch. But he says, basically Wrath is telling him, don't do that. Everything is okay. Go sit back in the room, Hollywood. Go sit back in the dining room, Rage. And so Beth is telling Raph, look, I don't need your help anymore. I shall take care of myself. She says, don't you dare have an opinion on anything that I should do. Because Raph, of course, does not like humans. However, he's literally in love with the half-human vampire, okay? That being Beth. But overall, he does not like humans. And so she tells him, Marissa tells him, I'm no longer your concern. I am not your concern. I should take care of myself. Everything will be fine. And so once she tells him all of that, he finally is able to walk out of the room. And she says she's going to have the human. She wants Butch. Like Butch is literally giving her attention, complimenting her, telling her how her hair is beautiful and how beautiful she is. And Marissa is a virgin, so she's never, had anyone to talk to her the way that Butch has spoken to her. Wrath is only there, to take blood from her and, for her to feed and all of that, but nothing else. He's not there for any kind of relationship goals, if you will say. So finally, Wrath allows the two of them to, step out of the room, or allows them to, he accepts what Marissa has to say. Now, Beth is in the other bedroom and she's waking up out of everything that has just transitioned. Like her life is never going to be the same. So she gets up out of the bed and she sees a blurry, like everything is blurry around her, but she has no contacts. So she goes up to the mirror and she pulls the contacts out of her eyes. And then she looks at her eyes and she's like, whoa, because now she can clearly see. She can clearly see everything around her. Prior to that, she needed her glasses. So, or her contacts. So finally, she walks out of the room and she sees Butch. She tells Butch, I'm okay. I'm not leaving. And Butch is, of course, he introduces Beth to Marissa and tells Marissa, this is my friend Beth. And Marissa says, oh, you're the one that Raph wants. And she says, I guess so. And so she explains to Raph, Beth tells Butch that she's not leaving. She's not leaving, so don't even ask her. And I'll tell you what's going on in a little bit. But Beth is having this strange craving for chocolate and bacon. And so she goes to look for Raph and she sees him in the dining room with the fellas. Of course, they're joking. All of the fellas are there. They're joking around with Raph. Like, who knows exactly what they were saying because it's kind of mumbled outside of the door, but it's some fun, jovial Brotherhood type laughter. So Beth walks in the room and immediately Raph stands up and grabs Beth as if to hold her. And it's, to me, the way that Raph hugs Beth is more like he's marking his territory, showing everyone that this is my Shelley, this is my Lena for now, and no one else can have her. Keep in mind, this is funny to me because in the beginning, Raph was just dead set on not helping Beth transition. But once he got around her, it was almost instantly love at first touch. We can't say fight because we know that Raph is blind. Okay. So anyway, Raph introduces Beth to the rest of the men. He says to her, Rage. Also, Tor. The one with the baseball cap is Vicious. And of course, we see Vicious. And then the other one is Fury. And you have already met Sadist. And definitely she remembers Sadis because of his actions towards her when she was sleeping in Darius's bed. He literally scared her. And so she tells Raph that, she's got a strange taste for bacon and chocolate. And so he goes to do just that. He goes to look for the chocolate as well as the bacon. And so the men, as soon as Beth starts to walk, they all stand up, and then they take their knives, they unsheathe their knives and dig them, basically stab them into the ground. And so Beth is like, what is this? But then Raph comes back out and he says to Beth, they really like you. And so, she's comfortable. At this moment, she is comfortable. She takes a seat as she waits for her bacon because Raph said the chocolate and bacon was on the way. So then we see Butch, and oh my God, Butch has literally changed from the sweet, oh, you're so, you're beautiful, you're this. He tells her, how much will it cost for you to cut the innocent act? And she's confused because Marissa literally is a virgin, has no idea what he's talking about. She's saying to him, I really have never been touched by a man. I've never been, courted. She's never had any of those things. So she truly is innocent. This is not just a game that she is playing. So initially, she was ready to just bounce because she couldn't believe that someone could actually talk to her that way. Well, after he realizes that he's being a butthole, he apologizes. And he says to her, can I kiss you? So, because he still wants to see her. And so she says, yes, you can. And she puts her hand out. But he takes her hand, puts it down, and kisses her on her forehead. So Marissa and Butch have a love connection. However, Butch does not know that Marissa is a vampire. Like, he has no idea. So let me see if I can give you guys the video of Butch's reaction. His reaction when Marissa basically Marissa ends up just leaving the room. Like, okay, I got to go home and have dinner with my brother. And then she's up out of there. And Butch is like, what the hell? Like, literally, what the hell just happened? Well, Raph walks in as well as Beth, and now is the time that they have to explain to him that, they're vampires. She, was already transforming into a vampire, Beth was, but now she's officially a vampire. So Butch has to he stepped into a world that he has no idea about. So he had to take a shot, but she shows him her fangs, and then he tries to stick his finger in her mouth to test one of the fangs, and Raph immediately grabs her hand, or grabs Butch's hand, to keep him from, touching her. And so Beth is like, it's okay. She's just letting him know, like, this is what it is. And so you're only spared, of course, Raph says you're only spared because of, being friends with Beth. And because Elizabeth does not want me to unalive you. So all of the gentlemen finally come into the room, and in walks Vicious with the baseball cap. And Vicious is, he's that guy. He's that Boston, They kind of make jokes. At first, they're going back and forth. Kind of like, who's got the bigger chest, in other words. But Butch says to Vicious, what do you call 20 guys watching the World Series? And then the answer is the New York Yankees. And everybody starts laughing because clearly that must be the running joke about, the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox, okay? Because, Boston Sox outrank the New York Yankees. But that's just their thought. So after that, they kind of laugh it all off. he takes the alcohol from Butch's hand and uses it to take a shot. So back at Marissa's home, we see her and she is talking to her brother, Havers, who is upset. Where have you been? Why have you been gone for so long? Have you been at, have you been at Darius's, or have you been with Wrath? And she says, yes, I was at Darius's home, and I told him that I didn't want to, I wasn't no more longer tied to him. And he has to talk to, I can't do it. He has to talk to the scribe virgin so that I can be released from him. And so Havers is like upset. For some reason, he is super upset at Wrath. I guess we'll find out a little bit later why he's so upset and why he hates Wrath. I don't know if Wrath is responsible for unaliving his own Shellen, which caused him to be here alone, or if something he didn't allow his Shellen to live. But we'll see. I'm sure they'll give us a reason as to why Havers really does not like Wrath. So then we see Mr. X. And in the room with Mr. X is Billy Riddle. And he's telling Billy Riddle he has him under this hypnotic spell because Billy Riddle comes and says, I want to come and work for you. And so he hypnotizes Billy Riddle and tells Billy Riddle that he's going to call his father. He's going to tell his father that he's going away to an extensive training program. It'll be a while before he'll, ever hear from him again. And in the midst of this whole trance that he has him in, he's taking his watch, he's taking his earring, he's taking his necklace. He's literally taking all of Billy Riddle's jewelry because he's no longer going to need any of that stuff. And I'm pretty sure Mr. Riddle or Mr. X is going to probably sell all of the property that came from Billy Riddle. And then once he's done with this whole placing him in this trance, he tells Billy Riddle that he basically wipes the memory somewhat clean, but he tells Billy Riddle that you're not going to tell your father about me, nor are you going to tell your father about the karate center. And so next we see where Wrath has gotten on his knees, and he is basically in what I would call in a prayer or in a conjuring type state, where he's saying to the scribe virgin, tis I who seeks humble entry. So he has to say this multiple times in order to enter into this world where the scribe virgin survive, or right where the scribe virgin, lives. He repeats it multiple times, and there's multiple themes of just what everyone is doing as he's basically begging the scribe virgin to allow him to come into the sacred place. And then out of the blue, y'all, he's literally in this white, pure, what I would call a sacred place, and he sees off in the shadows, in the blurriness of Wrath's vision, he sees the scribe virgin. And so he talks to the scribe virgin, standing up into, face to face to her. But she tells him that the way that you talk to me, you have to talk to me, basically get down on your knees and talk to me and ask me for what you want. And so Wrath does just that. He gets down on his knee and he asks the scribe virgin, tells the scribe virgin, I want to basically be married to Beth, aka Elizabeth, Darius's daughter. And so scribe virgin, after he asked, and she says, okay, I'll give you what you want. However, you have to do something for me. You have to basically take the reins of the Brotherhood. Not only do you have to continue the rituals that we used to do, but you have to bring the rest of the Brotherhood together. You have to, fight thy enemies, but you got to definitely continue with the rituals that we used to do and bring the Brotherhood back together. And so because he wants to marry Beth so badly, he agrees to what the scribe virgin has instructed him to do. So he goes back to the bedroom, and he talks to Beth, and he lets Beth know that we will be married. So basically after midnight, Beth Beth and Ralph are going to be married. Now, in the other bedroom, we see where Butch has just gotten himself comfortable. He looks over and he sees Vicious over in the other bed. I guess they drank so much and partied so much that they just decided, okay, well, you're here now. You're in with us. You've seen too much. You may as well go ahead and go to sleep here. And Butch does that, but then he wakes up and he says something to Vicious, and he says to Vicious says to Butch, well, it's what time is it? So he tells them it's about 5:30. And so he tells them, listen, if you open up the windows, I will fry. So do not open up the windows. And when it's time for me to wake up, or wake me up at about 8 o'clock if I'm not already up. And so, learning what he learned the night before, he has no choice but to, comply. And so he kind of lays back down a little bit longer to, get himself another nap in, both Butch as well as Vicious. Okay. So finally, y'all, we're getting ready to go to the big party. Thank you so much for hanging out with your girl right here at All Things Ruthless. I absolutely appreciate it. Make sure if you're not subscribed to the channel, feel free to go ahead and subscribe. And if I have something special for the Blackdagger family members, if you are interested in watching a live version of the Black Family Daggerhood or the Blackdagger Brotherhood, I will be setting up a special membership fee of only 99 cents where you can join me and we will watch the Blackdagger Brotherhood together. We will this is only for members only, and it's 99 cents just for the membership. So make sure, give me about at 4 o'clock, I will set the new membership fee up for everyone. So if you're interested in becoming and watching, the Blackdagger Brotherhood episode 6, the season finale, then I will definitely, it's for members only, but I will definitely do that for you guys, as well as give you a earlier recap. So tomorrow at about 5 o'clock, I will give you guys my evening time recap of the Blackdagger Brotherhood. My apologies, y'all. Thursday afternoon instead of because it's not even Thursday yet. So yeah, Thursday. I'm behind. My brain is all over the place. The week has gone by faster than expected. But Thursday, 5 p.m., we will definitely watch the Blackdagger Brotherhood for members only. And then after that, 7 o'clock, I will give you guys a live recap of the Blackdagger Brotherhood season finale episode, okay? All right, y'all. So we are here. And Beth is about to get married. She's introduced to another Shellin by the name of Wellesley. Wellesley is the Shellin or wife to Torment. So now Wellesley has a new friend in our girl Beth, because she was the only one that was married to one of the Brotherhoods. So in this wedding ceremony, we're going to see the scribe virgin, make her entrance into the room. And also, y'all see the post that I made about the young lady who portrays the scribe virgin. They don't show her face in the show or in the series, but I did get the image and post it for you guys on the in the community tab. Okay, so anyway, at the wedding, everyone is walking in. Also, you guys, one important note, Wellesley is actually pregnant, and she said she's going to be pregnant. I think their pregnancy term is like 11 months. Like, she's going to be pregnant for a long time. So anyway, she walks in with Beth. As you can see, Marissa is there at the wedding. Butch is there. And Fritz is there. And Fritz is, of course, super excited to see one of the Brotherhoods get married, especially with it being Wrath. Wrath now has a partner, and he is super excited about that. There's also a moment where Marissa as well as Butch go out onto the outside patio level, and they kind of have a moment where they kiss, and then the chair ends up breaking. I thought that was kind of funny, but they're connecting, they're bonding, they realize they like each other, and so they're gonna, we'll see how that relationship plays out in the Blackdagger Brotherhood series. So at this wedding, all of the men are there, all the Brotherhood are there, no shirts, jackets, button down with their daggers, and everybody is just there, honoring them, honoring Wrath as well as Beth. So Wrath walks in and he walks up to Beth, and they're basically committing, saying their vows. I will honor him. I will love him. He and Wrath is literally giving his body to Beth. Like they're literally committing themselves to each other. But when y'all see this in a minute, Wrath gives an even bigger commitment. I'm just saying. But Beth, who knows no better, tries to shake the hand of the scribe virgin. And everybody is like, what are you doing? They're gasping, like, what are you doing? And so, scribe virgin says, it's okay, it's okay. So after they kind of get things back in order, they both reach out their hands to the scribe virgin. Beth reaches out her hand and gives it to the scribe virgin, and then Wrath does the exact same thing. They're reaching out and just honoring the scribe virgin, and she's connecting them. She's connecting them. In other words, I now pronounce you husband and wife, and they are now husband and wife. But in their terms, she is his Shellen, his Leland, his Shellen, all of the above, and everybody is excited. And of course, like I said, Fritz is crying. Like I love that Fritz is, so empathetic in this moment. He's excited, about this moment. He's happy that Wrath has found someone. And, I just love that they, gave a little extra moment on Fritz and his tears. So once they are finished and they're happy, there's a moment where Wellesley tells Beth he's about to basically dedicate his body to you. And so she's like, he doesn't have to do that, but Ralph takes off his jacket and he gets down on his knees. Fury goes behind him. Fury Goat stands behind him and begins to do something to his back with that knife that he has in his hand, or that dagger. And then Vicious comes up and does the same thing. Rage does the exact same thing, but they ask him each time, what is the name of her? And so her name, of course, is Elizabeth. So they're literally carving Elizabeth in Ralph's back. So earlier we saw where Fritz was making a bowl of water with a lot of salt in it. And so they added more water, but what they do is pour this salt on the wound, literally on the wound that is on his back. And so she's grimacing because she's never really seen anything like this. But when he turns around, y'all, you see the name Elizabeth literally carved in the back of Wrath. But Wrath is okay. Wrath is a strong king, which is why he has been selected to do all of the things that he has been selected to do. And so Fury gives Wrath this box to give to his new Leland, his new Shellen by the name of Beth. And they are officially husband and wife, y'all. But look at the scars that this man has had to take in order to be the husband or to marry Beth. And they're singing the guys are singing, the Brotherhood are singing, long live the king. And they're saying it in a different language. I'm assuming it's maybe Latin or something, but they're singing it in a different language. And they are, they're honoring both Wrath as well as Ray, as well as Beth. And then out of nowhere, we get a solo from Sadis. And I was like, wow, I had no idea Sadis actually sang like that. But he's singing and he's, they have this approval. But once all of that is done, everybody starts to party. They're drinking the rest of what they have to drink. They're eating some food. And the fellas decide, hey, we're going to go out. We're going to hang out. Almost like an after bachelor party type situation. Marissa says, I have to go home, and she does just that. She leaves, but before she gets the kiss, of course, from Butch, because they like each other. And then she's out of there. She makes her way home. And so tells Butch, hey, let's go to the Screamers. Let's go to Screamers. Let's get into some good trouble before we drink this scotch and all of that. And so of course, Butch, his new life is the Blackdagger Brotherhood at this point. So he's like, oh, well, might as well go and, hang out, get into the trouble. That's some good trouble. And so he makes his way out to the car and he calls shotgun. Now, everybody knows when you say shotgun, that means you called for the front seat of the car. And so he says shotgun. And of course, Rage is going to challenge that. But he's like not afraid of any of them. He's not afraid of Rage or any of them. And so Rage just politely gets in the back seat of the vehicle. And so they are ready to go out, like I said, y'all, and just have some fun. Now, at the end of the episode, there is going to be a moment where they are at the club. They are behind Screamers. Zadis, he also gets in the car and rides to the celebration to the bachelor, to Screamers with them as well. But one thing that I want to say, when Marissa gets home, she talks to her brother. She says that, everything is fine. But her brother is so angry with Wrath. And again, you guys, I don't know why he's so angry with Wrath. I'm hoping they will reveal to us why he's so angry with Wrath. But he's so angry with Wrath that he is ready to do any and everything to basically take Wrath out. He does not care who it hurts, who it helps. He does not like Wrath. I don't know what he did. I don't know if he did something to his wife, but he really despises Wrath to the point where he tells Marissa, I'm going to basically kill him. And so he is outside of this same club, Screamers, and Zeta sees him. And so he walks up to Zeta and says, how much could I pay you? How much could I pay you to basically unalive Rage or unalive Wrath? And Zeta says he's going to do it for free. And I'm like, wait, what? What the heck is going on? What just happened? What is this? I don't get it. I don't know where this all came from. But why would he agree to taking out Wrath? So, because he's supposed to be a part of the Brotherhood, right? So what would be his purpose in working with Hathers to take out Wrath? I'm confused about that part, but I guess on the final episode, we'll actually see why it is that Havers despises Wrath as much as he does. Now, there's also a moment where we're going to see, we're going to meet the Omega. We'll meet the hand of the Omega, and we'll see that the Omega, as well as Mr. X, are basically transforming Billy Riddle into Mr. what they call him, Mr. R. I guess they go by whatever the last name is. That's what they're using. And so anyway, we see at that very moment that Billy Riddle has transformed. He's become this new vampire, this new thing, this new being. So with that, we like I said, we meet the Omega. We don't see very much of the Omega, only the hand. So maybe we'll get some conversation on the next episode from the Omega. But that was pretty much the end of the episode. I do know that there is another episode tomorrow. Like I said, there's another episode, and it's an all-out war, y'all. It is an all-out war where Beth is going to get snatched up from the shelling or from the lessons. She's going to be taken, and I think Billy Riddle's going to be the one who ends up taking her. Butch is going to run after this van. If you haven't seen it, I did create a video in my short section, so check out that short video so you can see, the little bits and pieces of what's going to happen, as well as the trailer is streaming or is playing on Instagram on Passionflix, on the Passionflix page. So anyway, there's a lot that's going to go down. It's about to be a war. Blackdagger Brotherhood versus Blackdagger Brotherhood, Lessons versus Blackdagger Brotherhood. The Omega is here. The scribe virgin has made her appearance, and I'm just super, super excited for it all. Okay, make sure you guys are locked in, tapped in, and tuned in. As your girl, I will be back for the recap of the Blackdagger Brotherhood. Again, in a moment, I'm going to share a link so that you guys, if you want to become a member, this will be a discounted price for membership. I'm trying to set it at 99 cents so that the Blackdagger Brotherhood fans can come and join me and experience the watch of the Blackdagger Brotherhood episode 6. With that, y'all, thank you guys so much for being here. I absolutely appreciate you. And we are basically up out of this thing. Y'all have an amazing rest of your day.